I think there's nothing worse than waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 degrees Celsius, and you're on the back of a training session the day before where you did lots of deadlifts or a set where you pushed the deadlifts. So I'm tired, underslept, it's really early in the morning and it's cold and I have tight muscles. Those things are perfect ingredients for you to not squat well. Literally nothing's going my way. So jumped on the hamstring curl machine, did 5 sets of 30 of these, lightweight, just to get the hamstrings unglued really. Walked over to the bar, did like 3 or 4 sets of just the empty bar. Shocking, man. I'm locked up. You know, I keep saying it, I keep beating the damn drum, but you know, when my hamstrings are jacked, forget it, man. You're not gonna squat well at all. You're not gonna feel strong at all. You're not gonna get into those positions that you want to get in. You're going to be fighting your body as well as fighting the weight on your body. So it's not a good set of circumstances for you to do anything. So today was basically a whole bunch of moving around, trying to keep warm, trying to get the circulation through, trying to unglue myself basically. You know, I kind of enjoy these sessions, even though like I know as soon as I woke up and I kind of reach for the toes in the morning, you know, the hamstring reach test, whatever you want to call it. I know when my hands are like halfway up my freaking thigh, I can't even get it, you know, past the knees with a straight back and straight legs. I know it's not going to be a good session. Everything's locked up. But sometimes I enjoy these sessions because it's kind of like removes the expectation. It removes the, you know, the drive to do something, to lift heavy, to do a lot of volume. It's just a nothing session. It's a session like a maintenance session. You know, you just kind of come in and change your oil, change your filter, and off you go. No major work's done. And you know, in this space, I usually like to experiment things. I'm thinking about things. You're just kind of being, you know. You're just being. You know what they talk about with meditation. You know, you just be. You know, don't do anything. Just be. Today I was be. Towards the end of the session, I started thinking about, you know, because I'm so jacked up, because I'm so tight, my heels are coming off the ground. I'm struggling to control it. It looks more and more like a low bar squat. And I thought to myself, all right, no worries. You want to come off the ground? Here, come off the ground. I'll let you come off the ground. So the last few sets, you guys will see, I literally did heels off squats. You can call them CC squats. You can call them whatever you want squats. I know CC squats are even more pronounced. You know, you're literally putting your knees on the ground, rolling your feet forward kind of thing. This was simply squat normally. And when your heels want to get off the ground, let them. It's all good. You know, get on the balls of your feet and then squat up. It kind of reminds me of when I played basketball. You know, this is how you jump. This is how you run. You don't squat. You don't jump and run off your heels. I've never done that in my life. It's not an athletic posture. It's not an athletic position. You know, everything is on the balls of your feet. So I kind of felt really athletic doing that. Kind of started thinking about the whole thing, and I thought, you know, if I was, I don't know, if I was interested in jumping, this is probably what I should be doing. We all kind of get a little bit too excited about dorsiflexion, you know, but you don't need a lot of dorsiflexion, man, like to jump. Yeah, I don't know what this fascination is with heels on the ground. That's what I'm thinking today, this morning. Why do we need heels on the ground? Like if you're interested about running and sprinting, you don't want heels on the ground. You want heels off the ground, right? So of course, you know, there's a balance component there. And you'll see me in one of the first sets. I lose my balance at the top because I went down and I went up and I try to remain on the balls of my feet. And at the top, because you're so far away from the ground, it's kind of hard because you're balancing this whole thing. You know, it's like a pyramid, upside down pyramid, all on this like 1 decimal point, you know, balancing. But if you just, you know, squat, you know, so stand there with a full foot, you know, flat foot, and then you go down, let the heels come up, and then as you're coming back up out of the squat, you just put your heels down when you're ready. And that's it. And I thought it was really good. Obviously, the whole movement, felt it, you know, really in my knees, you know, quads, the teardrop muscle, the lateralis medialis, medialis lateralis, vastus medialis. So felt it in that muscle, you know, and I don't know. Would I do this again? I'm thinking tomorrow when I have the session. I'm not working tomorrow, but when I come in, maybe I'll just warm up like that. Maybe it'll do something to my ankles. Maybe it'll do something to my, like, stretch everything out. I don't know. But, it's these moments where you don't have expectations. When you come in on a day like this, literally just routine, you come up with things like this, man. Because when your mind is busy, like if you come in, if I had to do a set of 50 today, from the moment I'll wake up, if that's the kind of aim, obviously auto-regulation and whatnot, if something doesn't feel right, I wouldn't do it. But if you're thinking about, this is what I'm planning to do, your mind is preoccupied. You're thinking about this thing. You're not free. You're not meditating. You're not being. There's like a goal. And all of your thoughts, they can't come and go freely because you're occupied by this thing. It's almost like using 80% of your energy or your power, brain power, thinking about this set, thinking about how you're going to breathe, thinking about what you're going to do, preparing yourself. But these sessions, there's nothing going on, man. There's literally nothing going on. In fact, all of those things that I said to you about the cold morning, the 5 a.m. start, it's probably benefiting these type of thoughts because there's no sound. There's no cars in the background. No one around me. Complete silence. No one's messaging. No one's doing anything. I'm just in my garage with the light on doing my thing. It's like the perfect opportunity for you to sit there and think. It's just glorious. Absolutely glorious. And it's, I usually do these sessions when I go to work. But I'm thinking to myself, like, if I had all the time in the world and I didn't have to work, I think these sessions are beneficial because of the aspect of just letting your brain kind of run around, because you're so inhibited from all the other things going on. You're not in your peak physical state, peak physical kind of performance. And because of that, your mind is free. Because it's just nothing, man. I did 160 for one. Great. I did a whole bunch of sets with 60 kilos, sets of 10. That's great. So you can do that in your sleep. It's literally just moving the joints through space, moving your body through space, getting the blood around, just saying hi to the body, and that's it. That is literally all I wanted to do today. And I knew yesterday after I did the 180 for one, I knew today the hamstrings were going to be jacked up, the back was going to be jacked up. It's one of those things, You need the deadlift. You need like a pulling motion to keep the body balanced. But when you do the pulling motion, you kind of make it more difficult to do the opposite, to do the squat. Because the squat, especially ATG, requires acute angles, and it requires the prime movers of the deadlift to let go. You want that back to be long. You want those glutes to be long. You want that hamstring to release. If the hamstring is tight, it's going to pull the fascia from down below from the calves and up top from the glutes, and then you're kind of locked up. This is why for such a long time I didn't do any volume on deadlifts, even though I think it's fantastic. I can feel my traps already just from a set of 10 yesterday, man. I can feel my traps. I can feel my lats. I can feel my lats. I can feel my hamstrings. All of a sudden you're feeling all these muscles. But because of all of that, this morning is an awful time to squat. And it's probably made worse by all the other conditions, the 5 a.m. start, the 5-degree temperature and all that. But it is what it is. Today I messed around with these heel off the ground squats. There's a shot there that I did at the end where I did like a side view of me squatting. And I was expecting the bar to be exactly over my midfoot, but it wasn't. I found that really interesting. The bar was basically at my toes. And it kind of makes sense because that's where the center of weight is, center of balance is. It's over my toes because that's where the weight is. I just expected, because I'm shoving my knees forward, I'm going to have more of a, vertical torso, vertical body, and the weight will kind of fall on the heels, but there's no weight on the heels. So the whole system kind of shifts forward, its balance. But, you can see, for me to achieve an upright squat, especially this morning with all the other stuff going on, I would need a freaking big ass heel, a shoe for me to achieve that. And then maybe, so if I had a massive, like a stiletto, for God's sake, something, like huge heel, and I could shift my weight back onto the heel on the top of this elevated heel, then I would expect the center of weight, center of balance to be kind of more towards the heel. But essentially, where the bar goes is where the most foot pressure you're having. That's what it seems like to me. You know, if you are squatting and all of your weight is on your heel, the bar's probably going to go along that line. You know, you can't imagine a scenario where you're squatting to your, you know, all of your weight to your toes and the bar is on your heel. It doesn't make sense. The weight wants to find its base of support. So I think that's what's going on. And this is the shot that I'm talking about. Basically, the bar lines up perfectly with the camera. And I was expecting, oh, this is going to be exactly kind of in the middle of the foot, but it wasn't. It was like basically almost ahead of my toes. But this exercise here, I mean, I don't know how you would load this. Obviously, there's a risk of balance and whatever. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I like the fact that the back angle is so upright. It'd be cool if I could squat like that normally. Yeah, it does look a lot more appealing to me than the way I normally squat. But I would like that, you know, if I had the heel on the ground, I would like the weight to be a little bit more further back. Obviously, you know, we all watch Lou squat and we're like, oh, that's a perfect squat. But the man has literally half the femur that I do, so it's like impossible to imagine that. So you do the best you can. And I know I've seen a whole bunch of videos on YouTube talking about don't hunt that upright squat. You know, I guess, you know, it depends on what your goal is, but if you're interested in moving the most amount of weight, obviously you want a little bit more forward lean because that engages the hip extensors. And if you're perfectly doing a Smith machine squat, right, or a hack squat, you're not going to be moving the most amount of weight because the demands on the hip extensors are not going to be there. And, you know, hip extensors is where the strength is for a lot of us. Anyway, guys, talking out loud now, thinking out loud. Let me get out of here and go to work, shower, maybe eat a banana and head to work. And I'll catch you guys on the other side. Appreciate you guys. Thank you everyone on the Patreon list, YouTube comments, Instagram. Love the talk, love all the chatter. When I have a chance, I'll answer the latest comments on the latest video. Appreciate you guys. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.